Well, let's go back to our top story, and Victorians have been shaken by a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. The quake struck near the southeastern town of Moe, from where our reporter James Bennett joins us now. Good morning, James. What's the latest that you can tell us?
Good morning, Karina. Well, it's certainly a very fresh morning here in Moe, but the talk and really that's the main focus for people here has been essentially doing what people have been doing right around the state, and that's where were you and what did it feel like? Among the more creative descriptions that I've heard was that it was a bit like sitting on top of a washing machine, and also that it seemed like the possums in the roof were a little bit more excited than normal. But on a slightly more serious note, behind me here is the Woolworths shopping centre, which has quite a lot of stock on the floor. That seems to have been among the more sort of serious impacts in terms of what people will be dealing with today. We do understand that also in Moe there is one garage which has collapsed, and also a chimney which has been knocked down. Around 25 calls, the SES tell us, of people who say they've had minor property damage, things like cracks in the walls, and numerous reports of cabinets tipped over, of things like glassware and crockery broken. But it is, of course, sort of mainly a minor inconvenience. And here's what a couple of the people in Moe last night were saying about what it felt like when it hit.
The whole house is moving, and I thought, what the hell's going on here? And then, well, no, must have went for about 5 to 10 seconds, but she was pretty bad. I panicked, yeah, the whole house just went, she just went.
And I woke up, the bed was shaking, and we got some dogs, and they started running around, they were barking and stuff like that. An hour or so later, the wife came home, she'd been down to hospital and stuff, and she said down there, they were in the hospital, obviously awake, and the place was shaking. They were standing there was 3 or 4 of them, and the place was shaking, and stuff like that.
Well, James, it looks as though the news agency didn't suffer too badly there. In terms of buildings, is there any concern that there could be some structural damage that's been done?
Well, look, obviously with the amount of businesses which have seen a lot of stock off shelves, what the SES is saying is that people should try and have those places checked before anyone goes back in. Particularly one thing that they say could be a problem is the potential for any ruptured electrical wires. Now, just a few moments ago, before we came on air, several people did head into the Woolworths behind me with torches. That is currently still barricaded off with SES tape and being guarded by security guards. So obviously a number of places around the Gippsland area will be going through that sort of a process this morning to go through that structural assessment before it is that they can open for business, or I guess get in first to clean up and then open for business. And
James, did you feel the quake?
I did. I was sitting at home in Fitzroy and watching the Foreign Correspondent special, and I felt it for about 20 seconds or so and realised what we'd be doing this morning.
James, thanks very much. We'll come back to you a bit later on.